I'm changing things up again because I've got to play this conversation for you. It's an episode of Beauty Unveiled with my friend and also one of SPEKE Podcasting's longest clients, Dr. Angela Sturm. She invited me to be a guest, and the conversation got really raw. Corporate medicine versus private practice, corporate radio versus entrepreneurship, and the brutal math of 455 applications with almost zero callbacks. This is two entrepreneurs comparing scars and showing exactly what it looks like to stop playing somebody else's game and build our own. And if you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to Dr. Sturm's Beauty Unveiled on your favorite podcast app.
We've done this before, but it's been a while, and now that I have a little bit more practice, I want to try.
Not that you ever needed practice.
Again.
I mean, come on.
Well, thanks. And something that we have in common is that you worked in radio for a while, and then you decided, I want to go out on my own, and I'm going to be an entrepreneur, and I kind of wanted you to talk about that. So
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Absolutely. SPEKE Podcasting should never even exist because at the end of 2021 and at the time of this recording about 4 years ago, I was made an offer that I could refuse, and I refused it. And so by the end of the year, I was guaranteed, because I'm Freddy effing Cruz, that I'm going to find a job doing something. I'm going to find a job. And I told my wife, I'm like, the writing was on the wall, and I saw the writing, and it was right here. And don't worry, though, because I'm going to find a gig.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a gig. 455 applications, a handful of interviews. It didn't turn out. About 55, mostly form rejections later. I figured, I'm good at hearing no and getting ignored, so maybe I might be cut out for this business thing.
Yeah, and pitching yourself and, being confident in yourself and putting yourself out there. And
yeah, well, working with people like you, and we met at a charity function for an animal shelter here at your practice, and getting to work with people like you and the Rose and the Funeral History Museum and the bank and all of our clients has really restored a lot of my confidence in being a business owner. And I'd like to get your thoughts, because you went off, obviously different professions. You're a plastic surgeon, big difference from a goon behind a mic. But you went off on your own in 2020 while pregnant, and then you had a 2-year. She was 2 at the time.
She was 2, yeah.
And so what you did and have done and accomplished in the past 5, almost 6 years is extraordinary. So I'd love to get your thoughts on all of that.
And I think regardless of the field, it's that same stepping off into nothing feeling of it's gonna be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be great. And it was. I don't know if it's the same feeling you had. Yours was an offer you could refuse, and mine was, this isn't going to go anywhere. I've been trying to work at this forever. There was the offer that wasn't an offer, that for 7 years was, there'll be a buy-in, there'll be a buyout, and then it came down to it where push come to shove, and I get professionals involved at looking at numbers, and it's not there, it wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time. I wasn't the right person. And so you say, well, I'll just do it on my own. And no idea how this will go, but there was no plan B.
Yeah. Is it Arnold Schwarzenegger who said that if you have a plan B, you're already pretty much doomed to failure? It's sort of a paraphrasing of that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's who it was, but that's a good saying, though. If you believe this is what's going to happen and I'm going to make it work, you'll find a way to make it work.
Right.
So that was said, okay, we're going to go. And we found this space I was looking for 2,500 square feet. And then I fell in love with the view, and it's twice that.
It's a great view.
It's the best view.
I mean, I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
Look at the downtown here. Well, I mean, where I'm sitting, I can see it. I don't know if you can see it right, but I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, you got the whole city. And so I said, again, it'll be fine. We're going to take it. It'll be fine. And now we're looking at expansion. So it's exciting going from me and one employee to now we have our little little family of employees. And
you have a squad.
We have a little squad.
Yeah.
I think it's a great squad. I think
Yeah.
they're great people. And, that's learning, too, of finding the right people.
What is your thought on learning? I know that in our talks off mic, we it seems like we follow some of the same people, the Hormozis.
It's been the podcast world has been a great learning tool for me of listening to other people talk and what they're doing. And so you've helped me grow to figure out, okay, well, there's this and that, and, listen to people and what they're talking about. And there's stuff that's in your mind, but then someone says it out loud and you're like, yeah, that's it. That someone's willingness to learn and willingness to be coached is the most important thing.
Yes.
And if they're not, you're not going to be able to get anywhere. I'd always had that thought in my mind, but didn't say it out loud. I was like, I can teach you to do a lot of things, but I can't teach you to give a
Yeah.
But they said it much more eloquently
right.
than I did.
Or maybe that's what it takes. Maybe that's what it takes is that someone says something in a different way that you knew intuitively, but just couldn't maybe connect. There have been things that Alex Hormozy has said that it took him saying it a certain way for me to connect the dots. I'm like, oh, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's the words all put together. That makes sense. And it's validating because you think, oh, well, who am I and what do I know? And then somebody like that says it and you're like, okay, there's something to that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
So how did you find all your clients?
They found me. I mean, I half jokingly say that. My first two clients, so you're the third. We found each other when I came to your practice for the event, and we connected for the podcasts. But the Rose and the Funeral History Museum, we go way back. So I had, and this is a sort of a mindset thing, and this is applicable for anybody who's still working a W-2, still working a 9 to 5, is that when you get voluntold to do something, suck it up and treat it like it's the best thing to ever happen to you. I was voluntold to host a Sunday morning show, Community Affairs. And I mean, let's be real. No one's awake on Sunday morning at 6, unless you are working a third shift. And so no one's listening to that show. But it was 3 8-minute segments that I was charged with looking for guests, scheduling the guests to come in, interviewing them, recording, producing, and scheduling, and managing all of that. Oh, and preparing for the interview. So if it's the Dr. Angela Sturm Foundation for Plastic Surgery, I need to know what the heck I'm talking about. But for 3 guests every single, and we would sometimes record weeks in advance, and we'd have 2 or 3 days, and so we're talking 9 segments in addition to the copywriting and production that I was doing, and the midday show, preparing for the midday show, and then running social media. I'm getting hives just thinking about all the things.
You were running the business.
I mean, it kind of seemed that way.
Yeah.
And so, this is very long when I'm getting to the answer, but I had run out of potential guests for this show. And so I did this thing called looking up Google for interesting nonprofits. And I found the Funeral History Museum. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I was reached out to by the Rose to MC their shrimp boil. All these years later, I'm still emceeing their annual shrimp boil, which is probably one of the most fun fundraisers. I mean,
that's a great fundraiser. That's much better than baked chicken on a Thursday night.
On a Thursday night with a tuxedo and
and you're uncomfortable in your suit and your dress. That's
how I met them. And then when I branched off and did my own thing, they were my first 2 clients. And so it's like, hey, there's this thing called podcasting. And it's Dorothy and I will tell you, and this is the story. It's This is back to Alex Hormozy. When you have got your back against the wall, what do you do anything? You have no shame about it. So I'm reaching out to people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Dorothy Gibbons. All right. I'm down to the G's. Dorothy Gibbons. I'm on Facebook. Let's meet for coffee. And she was like, Freddie, if you're going to sell me something, you are coming to me.
Yeah.
And so.
Smart lady.
Yes. Very smart lady.
Yeah.
And so we met at her office, and I had the little presentation, and you saw a variation. You got your own presentation, so you know what it looks like. And her response was, Freddie, we've been wanting to do this for years and just didn't know how. And I'm like, there's no way it's that easy. And it's not. It is not that easy because it was a bunch of no's after that, but it was the yes that I needed at the time.
And we all need that little, spark that you're like, okay, I'm going in the right direction. I think mine was there were some patients that followed me and came in to see me right after I left that practice. And so you're like, oh, yeah, you do love me. Oh, this is good. Oh, I'm going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
That is so cool that you have that kind of clout.
And people they're just wonderful people, And I saw one this week actually that she's been my patient since forever, and we were talking about it, and she brings it up frequently, and she's like, "I bet you didn't think I was going to come along with you," and I was like, "I didn't really. No, actually, no." But I'm so glad you did because she's just such a sweetheart, and we've got just really great patients. And it seems like your clients are that way, just really nice people and good people. And it was a doctor I work with actually, and he said that he works with people he likes, that he would actually go to dinner with. Like that's the people he operates on, and that's the people he likes. And I don't know. Yeah. If you have similar clients, but your clients seem really nice.
All those vibes.
Yeah.
Like all those vibes. And I'll tell you, Dr. Sturm, that I don't say this lightly. I really believe in my heart, and I know this to be true. You are the people that you surround yourself with. I really believe that you are all icons. Period. End of story. Period.
Well, you're with us. You're one of.
I'm just a guy that I needed to make money. And I didn't.
We all do.
I was tired of getting hurt, getting told no. And again, SPEKE Podcasting should never have existed because I was convinced that I was going to do some kind of corporate job because it's all I've ever known, all the way down to my first job at McDonald's. All I've known was to be a corporate shill.
And the universe said, no, that's not what you're supposed to be.
Right. Yeah. And I've never said this in a public forum, but I'm going to ask you, do you know how I know that I'm doing what I was meant to be doing?
No, I really want to hear this answer.
Twice since I started my business, I thought about giving up and tried to apply for gigs at cross-sound radio stations that were direct competitors and crickets.
No, the universe was like, no. You're where you're supposed to be. Yeah, no, it's telling you you're good at this. You connect with people. This is your thing. This is where you're supposed to be. And I was talking to a young facial plastic surgeon, and we were talking about how hard life is, and she just had a baby and just got married and is starting her practice, and it's all very scary. And I'm like, well, it's all hard. Just
choose your hard.
Choose your hard. It's all hard. I was like, but where you're where you're supposed to be, and that's. You had, it somehow it's a little bit more peaceful when you're like, I chose this, what I mean? I chose this hard, and I'm learning these lessons for a reason, and I'm going to help somebody else because I've went through this crappy thing, you know, and it's going to make me better able to help someone else. And it was kind of a funny conversation because I don't think she really got it. She was like, well, I learned rhinoplasty at this place. And I'm like, okay, give it a few years. Come back to me in a few years. You'll know what I'm talking about when you're like, no, like the hard things, the like life-changing, like I'm not doing this anymore. And then you're like, well, I guess I am. Because
what does Cody Sanchez talk about how her dad says that you're not really a business owner until you're up at 2 a.m. wondering how you're going to pay the payroll or whatnot.
Yeah,
And,
head in your hands.
Head in your hands.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, I should quit and just go get a job. And, I think we've all done it. I just realized I can't work for anybody else ever again. I just can't do it because I have too many opinions. I think things are supposed to go a certain way, and I like getting my way. It's,
That's the thing.
Yeah, and it's the vision, like that's the entrepreneur vision. It's whether you're like conscious of it at the time or not, of like, this is what I'm going to do. And I think the clearer you are in that vision, and the more you're like, submit to it a little bit, where you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And this is, what I want it to be and what I want it to look like if there's no limitations, and just thinking big picture. It's that entrepreneur vision that is always there. That's like, no, but this is how it is. And you're like, you want to do it? And I'm like, no, this is how it is. In my vision, this is how it goes.
We're going to will this into existence this way.
Yeah, will. Like, I'm part German. We're going to make that happen. I don't understand why you don't see what I'm saying.
Right,
like,
yeah, yeah.
It's, and and that's important in anybody really, but especially entrepreneurs, that you have that vision for your life and your goals and your thing. It looks different than I thought it was going to, but.
And how you have integrated this perfectly, it seems from an outsider's view, perfectly into your life. So art is integrated into this, and I see your beautiful young girls, frolicking through the hallway sometimes, and it's so, and they're so adorable, and the little, you hear the little voices and the little pitter patter of the feet sometimes, and I'm like, wow, this is,
Yeah, it works. It probably wouldn't work if I was an employee. They would not be happy about those things. Yeah. But it works for us because it's just us. We don't have family that's close. We don't have other people to help us out. So it's just, he goes to get the kids and bring them up here if we don't have anywhere else for them to go. So thank goodness it works out that way. And Art's working out well here. I did fire him once, and I did rehire him.
What? How did that go?
Not great.
How was that dinner?
Not good for a while.
There was no dinner.
No.
Nobody cooked that night.
No. McDonald's, I'm sure.
Oh, wow.
No, it's hard working with your significant other, and their strengths and their weaknesses more than anybody else.
True.
And so what I've found is people know that, and they will, I hate to say exploit because that sounds strong, but like work those things because they know that it's exploit, but I'm trying to be nice and I can't think of another word.
No, that sounds about right.
Those things it's Art's fault because of this and that and the other. Oh, it's Art's fault because he forgot to do this because he's, like there's the visionary and there's the implementer, and he is the visionary, big picture, social sales guy, and he'll talk to anybody and, he'll be their best friend by the end of the night, and people love him. But if you tell him he needs to send 10 emails, that's a no-go, just not going to happen. He is not a sit down and do a bunch of paperwork guy. Like, your sales guys are never your paperwork guys. And so I'd find people that would find a way to be like, oh, well, that's his fault, and this fell through the cracks. And so that's difficult because it becomes between us. And I've gotten better at, okay, here's your strength, and this is what I want you to do all day long, and I don't want you to do anything else. Mm-hmm. And if anyone asks you to do the paperwork, that is not your job.
And that has been made clear to them, too.
Yeah, like, this is his job, and this is your job, and everybody knows, like, this is your job, that's not your job, and yes, they can do it in a pinch, but there's very little overlap because I like accountability. Like, no, you can't blame this on someone else, and then be like, well, it's...
Yeah, I mean, to me, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, like, to me, even when something is like legitimately not on me, I hate saying, well, like, I almost find a way to blame myself. Like, well, I'm sorry that I didn't bring it up earlier.
Right.
However, this was John Doe, John Doe did this and this and this. But again, I'm really sorry that I didn't notice it.
Right. Because you're that like highly accountable person that cares.
Right.
Probably too much.
But also I'm just like, I don't want to be the good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Tattletale,
No. Yeah.
Dr. Sturm.
Yeah. This happened and then,
Art didn't fill out the paperwork. I don't know. It's weird to me.
It's a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
But we're in a better place now that I've rehired him. And I was like, okay, here's the rules. That and like you can't talk about work. After work unless it's like important, because I can't do it all the time. I don't know.
So you're able to separate.
I need separation.
You need separation.
He will talk about it day and night. I don't know. How is your household? Do you all talk about? Because what does your wife do?
So she's a funeral counselor, permanent real estate, if you will.
I talked to someone that they did something similar to that, and then they transitioned into plastic surgery, and they said they were the best salesperson they'd ever met because they're used to very delicate conversations.
Yeah. Someone dies, that's the worst thing to happen to your family.
Yeah.
And
someone to have close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, John Doe let's talk about where you're going to, all your options. And here's your options for your coffins. And, we have these kinds of urns in this model. Well, why does it cost this? Oh, well, that's an outer burial container. Let me take you on a tour of the cemetery. Meanwhile, their loved one. Yeah. But it's an art and, to have those conversations, and she's really amazing at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be a specific personality that you can handle their grief and their needs at that time. And they do have to make these purchases and make good decisions, but you're probably not in the best headspace to do it,
Yeah.
Be able to help people through that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you don't realize what you're meant to do on this earth until you've collected a lot of birthdays.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it takes time because I don't even think you're aware enough to try to think about that on that level.
Yeah. Yeah. Like college kids, I've got 2 of them, and, and I've made it very clear to both of them that obviously I want you to do very well, and I want you to do what you want to do as a career. Also, if it doesn't pan out, you are so young. And it's Gary Vaynerchuk who talks about how when you're in your 20s, you can just fail and fail and fail, and you've still got time on your hands. If you are healthy, you are in the United States, and you are young, you've got time on your side. Yeah. And they're not married, they don't have kids. You and I were talking about the older one. She's book smart and street smart, which is way dangerous.
Yeah.
Really dangerous. But I mean, if you've got any sort of, even if you're of average, maybe even below average intellect, if you got time on your side to learn and to make the mistakes.
Yeah, and learn from those.
And over and over and over again. And I would even say, if you're in your 30s and still you don't have a lot of commitments, you can still make mistakes over and over again and until you, quote unquote, to get it right.
Yeah. I mean, it's all a process. It's all part of the journey you're supposed to be on,
Yeah.
That you're supposed to do this and then that not work out, and then this other thing and that not work out, because you're collecting all those experiences to do whatever I don't know. I think the whole thing is purposeful. And there's a point where you're like, I feel like this is the right thing,
Yeah.
But it's all purposeful, It all kind of comes together at one point, and then you're like, the pieces come together, and I see it. And sometimes it's doing the thing that you don't know for sure you're going to be good at. But it's kind of how I picked facial plastics. Is I liked it. I was really into like the artistic part of it, but I was like, I don't know that I'm going to be good at it from a personality perspective, because all the guys that I knew that did it were like used car salesmen a little bit, slick. And
gotcha.
I'm not at all. And all the people I knew were guys, I was the girl that I'm just going to tell you how it is, and that's the only way I know how to be, and I'm not going to be able to, pull a fast one on you, because I don't have that ability.
Yeah. And look at the wall of awards.
Well, and I think it's good because that is what people like, that I'm going to tell them my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Which at the time didn't seem like a good thing because that's not what anybody else I knew, how they knew they were.
Everyone wants to be like, maybe not everyone, but sometimes people just want to be coddled and just told what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a corporate thing. I don't know. Like the game, the corporate, the whole
play the game.
And it's like, what if I don't want to play the game?
Yeah. I have a hard time understanding how you could play the game forever, and I know some people do.
Yeah.
And they're probably pretty good at it.
Yeah. I'd rather have my game,
yeah,
my business, my rules, and guess what? I can pick up my game, fold it up, put the pieces back, and then start over with.
Yeah, exactly, and that way I can own all of the decisions, the good ones, the bad ones, it was me. I can't say, oh, well, I was put into this position because of this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Like, I see myself doing this forever. Mm-hmm. There are people my age, 50, that talk about, retirement and this, that, and the other. Yeah, that sounds cool. Not really. Sounds miserable.
Yeah. To me, that's a sign you're doing what you're supposed to do, is you can see yourself doing this forever. You don't really want to stop doing this. It's like my dad, he's a farmer, and he will never stop doing that.
Is he still in the fields?
He manages people. So he's out there and he'll see them and he tells them what to do. But he's
out there.
He's out
that's
there
amazing.
And he drives from one, farm or ranch to the other one. And he's never not going to do it because he loves it,
Yeah.
There's no retirement. He doesn't want to retire.
But there's joy in it, right?
Yeah, he finds joy in it. He loves being out there. He loves seeing the cows. He loves seeing the crops, and so he's never going to not do it. He just figures out how to not do the physical part that's for the young guy.
Right. Yeah. Like it seems like there are obvious things that as we collect more birthdays that we're less likely to be able to do. But I mean, I was just thinking the other day, I got at least 30 years. Mm-hmm. That puts me at 80. Maybe I'll retire, but I plan on living until I'm 105 at least. So 25 years is still a long time to be retired, right?
Yeah. And I see these forums of physicians and things like that are like, oh, I want to retire early. And then I just saw one the other day that said, oh, well, I sold my practice to PE and now I'm retired. And they were bored. They're super bored. They're like, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out what to do next. If you don't have that next thing going, what do you do? Because if you're that personality, you always have things going. I don't know. I would have to have another iron in the fire.
What's it like for plastic surgeons? I mean, do they typically work into their 70s or do they kind of hang it up?
Each generation has been a little different. The generation that taught me, that was your life. You put everything into that. They trained when you really were a resident. You really did stay at the hospital sometimes for long periods of time. Like there's the stories of DeBakey, because he was still working when I was a resident, but he was towards the end. But the stories are he had his residents stay in that ICU for a month, and you did not leave. You did not leave. You did not go anywhere. That was where you lived.
That's why they call it a residency.
That's why they call it residency, because you lived there.
Wow.
And you lived it, you breathed it, everything. And so those guys are in their 80s and still practicing because that's their whole identity.
Yeah.
It's your identity. You have a family, but maybe that dynamic looks different than what other people might. And then you just haven't had the time to develop any other interests. So what else are you going to do? You don't have hobbies. You do this. This is what you do, and it's so they'll work until somebody's like, hey, I'm going to need you to stop doing that.
I noticed your hand jiggling a little bit with that scalpel.
A little wiggle there. That's probably a little too much,
Yeah.
And it was almost becoming a problem when I was at the end of my fellowship, because they started to do tests for physicians. Like, there were places that were doing tests, and it was not required, but they were testing it out to make it required that you go make sure your vision is okay, your mental capacity is okay, your hands are okay. And that is a hard ego hit, but it's also fair.
I think so. Yeah.
So this was an issue like at the end of my fellowship in like 2012. But the generations after have sought more of a balanced life. I don't know if you can ever truly be balanced if you want to be like amazing at something, but more so that they're looking at retirement, planning for spending time with their kids. That's part of their goals. Like that's part of when I sit down and look at all my goals. Part of it is I want to be there for my kids whenever they're in high school sports or whatever. So it's not as much of a problem anymore, because we're like, my generation now is like, yeah, we're going to retire. We're planning on that. We're going to do something else at that time. I think the perfect right off into the sunset is to create a practice where other people want to be, and other people want to be there and practice, and they want to be there because that's where they like to practice. The people are good, the processes are good, and I can be a part of it, but I don't actually have to do the cutting anymore. Let other people do that.
It doesn't rely solely on Dr. Sturm.
Right. Like that's the goal. Is like there's a point where I practice because I want to, but the practice runs fine without me. And then there's a point where I'll be like CEO, and I can do that from a beach if I need to.
That would sound amazing. Fort Walton Beach.
Yeah, and just take some calls and.
You mentioned something, and I want to know what you think. So, from a patient's perspective, like when someone's going to be like, "Well, it's your hands that I want operating on my nose," but it's Dr. Sturm's, and you've got this amazing team in place, but it's Dr. Sturm's practice. And so I ask because I remember being on a call, and it's like, "Well, are you the one that's going to be editing the podcasts?" And I'm like, a trained monkey can edit audio, but, I will be scaling up soon enough, but blah, 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 blah. Right.
So that's the problem with medical practices is your practice is not particularly purchasable at the end of the day. Like it's not actually valuable what I do with my hands. Like it's only valuable for me while I'm doing it. Once I'm not able to do it anymore, there's really very little value to anyone else. And so that has been a problem of people getting to the end of their career and they want to sell their practice and there's nothing to sell, and I've known people, very well-known people that have had to just close their doors because there wasn't anything to sell. So you have to plan ahead and put in the people and the processes and create that place where other physicians want to be and have the right people that's what they want, that they want their name on their door, but they're really okay with it being a group of people and then not taking on the sole liability, And so that works for them is I work here. I think physicians always have to have their own brand. I don't care where you work. If you work at, whatever plastic surgery and it's just a plug and play, you don't really have a practice. You're truly a cog in a wheel. But I think to really grow the practice and be successful, you have your own brand within a brand and grow other people. So there's a point where you have to hand off and you have to empower the other people that you're working with and validate them. So once you've built your name, you validate them as surgeons and have to be to the level that you're comfortable doing that and be like, they really are a good surgeon. They really are good with people. And spend more of your time developing those younger people to have a practice that at the end of the day, either those people want to stay there, and then some people sell to PE and just sell their soul, but that's not what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You can do that. You're not going to do that if you're a sole practitioner because you leave and there's nothing. So it's stuff that no one puts that much thought into whenever they're saying they want to be a doctor or going into it. Or, a lot of us get to that point where I don't want to be an employee. I feel like I'm being taken advantage of as an employee. And so that's your option is going out on your own.
But they don't teach that in medical school because you're learning how to do surgery.
Right, to be a good doctor and do surgery. And my own conspiracy theory is they purposefully don't, because they could have business classes in med school. You could have that. That would be easy to add in. But do they do that? No, because these are academic institutions that employ physicians. If you were smarter about negotiating your contract, that is not to their advantage.
There'd be a lot more private practice, it seems.
Could be a lot more private practice, and then they would just have a harder time because this is really, I don't know if I should say it or not, but there's actual like publications that have looked at this too, is they will burn you out. Like they know that doctors will give 110%.
Hippocratic oath.
Yeah, that's what you signed up for. You signed up for this. You know what you're doing. You will give 110% till you're absolutely burned out. And the problem is that you're running in someone else's wheel. It's not yours. So, 110% is a whole lot different when it's your own wheel and you can see the fruits of it and you can see things growing. But if you're not really seeing the fruits of that and you're just an employee, they don't care if they burn you out and they go on to the next one because they're going to get somebody who's going to take a cheaper deal because they just came out of school, and they don't really care if it's someone with 10 years of experience or 2 years of experience. The billing is still going to be the same. So that's my conspiracy theory of, I don't think we advocate for ourselves enough. I don't think that we speak up for the people that need, the people under us, the people younger than us that need that financial education. And because once you get up and you're the dean of the department, you're in those meetings, or maybe you're not if it's a bigger institution and you don't have the say. So it's my conspiracy theory for it.
Seems legit to me.
You could put business classes in there. You could make it an elective. We had electives on all kinds of ridiculous things.
Ooh, like what? Were you learning about Taylor Swift?
No, that would have been fun, though. I wish I could remember all of them now.
History of rock and roll. That was one of my electives at Sam Houston State, the 1 year that I went.
That sounds really fun. There's different things that, I don't even remember what it is, but there was stuff that is just totally not relevant to me now. But
underwater basket weaving.
Yes. But it could be done.
Influential people just love to get their way.
That's how they got there.
The expense of others, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It does happen.
Yeah.
And I just think we could advocate for ourselves and for our patients better, because we could provide better patient care if we weren't burning people out. If we weren't asking people to work more than they probably should. And
80 hours a week. But you know what, Dr. Smith, you're doing it for the patients.
It's for the patients.
It's for the patients.
Yeah. I was a resident before the 80-hour-a-week rule.
Oh, wow. I was only saying 80 hours. Wow.
There's a rule. So they cannot work more than 80 hours now.
Oh, jeez.
And so when I was in residency, they implemented that rule. And it took a few years to actually really implement it.
Wow.
So we were working, I have no idea how many hours we worked, but it would be a 24-hour shift and then an 8-hour shift and then another shift. And after your 24-hour shift, you would work till like noon the next day, and then you'd have the rest of that day off, but then you'd come in for your next like normal shift and then have 2 normal shifts and then a 24-hour shift. And I don't know how many hours that is.
You lost me a 24-hour shift.
We were young and stupid, and when we had a half a day off, we were like, "You want to go to the pub?" And you're like, "Sure." So it wasn't like the best, you're 20-something or...
I mean, you are, in effect, invincible.
You think you're invincible, and you're not. For obvious reasons, there were laws passed that that's a bad idea. But... So
can't have you cutting people open, and we're on you're on hour 23 of a 24-hour shift, and
it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But so there's rules against the 8 hours now.
80 hours. That's nuts.
I learned a lot about people and medicine and surgery life.
80 hours.
Well, thank you for doing this with me and spending
you.
your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And sharing your stories and your wisdom and your...
Well, Dr. Sturm, it's been a blast working with you. And so thank you for trusting us to do what we do with you for your podcast.
Thank you. SPEKE Podcasting for all your podcasting needs.
Thank you.
You really do an amazing job, and you make my life very easy, and you do really great. So,
well, thank you, and I can accept no credit. It's all my video producers. So, Michaela and Sheen.
Well, thank you for watching. You can find me at www.drangelaSturm.com, our Beauty Unveiled. And Freddy, how can they find you?
SPEKE Podcasting, SPEKE Podcasting.com, misspelled because of my boys, Sparrow and Zeke, named after my two dogs.
I love it.
Thank you.